Welcome back, everybody, once again to Titans Tube. I am Justin, and with me, as always, is our co-host Jake. And we are going to be breaking down the 2-1 Tennessee Titans going on the road in Week 4, taking on the winless New York Jets. The winless New York Jets, Jake. Trap game? Is this a trap game, Jake?
Man, I feel so confident going into this game. I said in our NFL picks video that I will shave into a goatee for next week's videos if the Titans lose this game. And I'm just starting to feel like the rug might be pulled out from under us, Justin. I don't know if it's my psyche or, a jinx because I've wagered something on the Titans, because I never wager anything on the Titans, be it facial hair, be it money line, be it anything. So hopefully the Titans can go up to East Rutherford and take care of business. And your note here, Justin, they have not done that as of late.
They have not, at least in the Titans era. We don't really go there that often. We've only played 3 games there since the transformation into our final form as the Tennessee Titans. But we are 0-3, losing for the first time in 2003. And then we lost a couple other times after that. Our last win was as the Houston Oilers in 1996, Jake. I don't know how many teams out there are still left where we haven't won at their home stadium after 20 years of Titan football. So let's get this little monkey off our back. Let's win in front of the New York Jets fans for the first time as the Titans. As you guys remember, last time we played these New York Jets at Nissan Stadium, 2018, our savior was, for a short time, he was our savior, Marcus Mariota. He threw the game-winning touchdown pass to now New York Jet wide receiver Corey Davis in a game where the Titans looked like they were, they were favored on paper. They were supposed to take care of business at home, and then went down like 16-0 in that game. Mariota throws a pick 6. They claw their way back and win in exciting, stressful fashion. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to that again, Jake. Hopefully, we see the turnovers from Zach Wilson. We see the shutouts that they put up last week against the Denver Broncos. And with the resurgence-ish of this defense for the Titans, hopefully they can continue shutting down that Jets offense and not, just do like Titans defense things of 2020 and allow teams to pick us apart, like rookie QBs and what have you. But yeah, definitely. So Titans can't lose this game. We're missing some pieces from this Titans passing offense. So I'll let you take it off here, Jake. Let's break down what's the Titans passing offense going up against New York.
Definitely. So and as part as the Jets are extra bad, this could be a trip up spot because this Jets defense and this defensive unit as a whole is their strong suit. It's more so been the Jets offense being, the huge shortcomings of the New York Jets team so far this season. For sure, yeah. The Jets
underrated unit.
Underrated is a great word for it. So getting into this Titans passing offense versus the Jets passing defense, Tannehill playing well. I thought he deserved a lot of credit for the win against Indianapolis last week. I mean, you look at his stat line box score, it's nothing that jumps off the paper, and it never is, Justin, really. But career high in rushing, taking what the defense is giving him, continuing to move the chains and kind of manage this offense while A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are sidelined, Justin, which I would expect them to be on Sunday. I don't know if the Titans are kind of viewing the Jets and their opponent a little too lightly here. And obviously A.J. Brown was probably going to be scratched from this game, but it's looking like Julio will also be on the bench, just probably due to their opponent. You would think that if the Colts were week 4, that Julio might suit up and play a couple of snaps. So we'll see how those two are doing. But the good news for the Titans, Justin, is Anthony Firks-Down Firkser is on a track to play this week. The Titans get their tight end 1 back, and it couldn't have come at a better time, as well as 2 other receiving threats, Justin, and Josh Reynolds and Marcus Johnson are probably also on track to make their real-life Titans debut. I know Josh Reynolds was active in Seattle. We didn't see him at all, but he seems ready, and he said in his press conferences this week, he's 100% ready to go, ready to contribute. So hopefully those 2 guys can come in and catch a couple of passes in the superstar absence of A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. Yeah. And that's not to mention the Chester Rogers of this team and the Nick Westbrooks of this team. Their stock is rising despite causing a couple of turnovers last week against Indianapolis, but their stock is rising and they can contribute, Justin. We've seen that from them early this year. So we'll see how this unit can kind of come together this week against a maybe lesser opponent in the Jets. But again, don't let the Jets uniform fool you. This defense is 10th overall in the league. They give up 217 yards a game through the air. Brandon Eccles and Bryce Hall are probably going to be your starting corners for the Jets on Sunday, but they are out their 2 starting safeties that they were supposed to have coming in this year. Marcus May recently went down with an ankle injury last week, and LaMarcus Joyner was out for the year coming into the season, I believe. So filling in for them will be Adrian Colbert and Jarrett Wilson at the safety position. Not a lot of household names here. Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of household names. And Marcus May was a big blow to this group. It seems like he was kind of the brains and the leader of this secondary. So I would say the advantage is a slight Titans advantage, even though AJ Brown, Julio Jones probably going to be out. So hopefully, again, Firkser and Josh Reynolds can come in and contribute, make a big splash, and keep this Titans offense going on the pace that they have been going.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we saw Tannehill get it done without Julio and A.J. Brown last week. Through 3 touchdown passes, 2 to our backup wide receivers, 1 to the backup running back. So as long as we come in with a good game plan, like you said, take care of the football, no turnovers from these players that haven't seen a lot of playing time throughout their career. Except for, Josh Reynolds. Excited to get Anthony Firkser back. I think this could be a big game for Anthony Firkser. We need a good pass catching threat. Yes, wearing the shirt. Let's get a.
I figured it was appropriate.
Completed the rotation too. I like it. I didn't realize you're on a swivel. Very nice. And dude, I hope we see Josh Reynolds get back. I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense or whatever was happening last week when a coach said, you got to contribute on special teams. Dude, I get it. You want players that are versatile and multiple. And if you're a fringe roster guy, then you need to be able to do more than one thing for this team. Dude, we did not sign Josh Reynolds to cover kicks and cover punts. He didn't do that for the Rams last year. He was a great contributor for them as their wide receiver 3. We brought him here to catch passes. Surely it was more of an injury thing and getting back to 100% instead of his seemingly inability to contribute on defense or on special teams. I don't think that's really necessarily a part of his game. He may have done that a little bit early on in his career, but we brought him here to catch passes. So if he's completely healthy, I don't want to see him covering kicks, especially in this game when he could be our number 1 or number 2 receiver with Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine also going to be getting snaps there. So hopefully we can see a big contribution from Josh Reynolds this game. I was excited about the signing when we got it, when we signed him. And that was before we got Julio. And so I thought his stock within the Titans' role in the offense would rise even higher as Julio and A.J. Brown would draw most coverages. Josh Reynolds could come in and find more advantageous matchups. So hopefully, we get a good Josh Reynolds debut. I've been waiting on this. Sure. But I agree. I think we should get a slight push. Jets with the injuries at the safety position and inexperience at cornerback. And coming off a pretty good game, minus the turnovers from our backup receivers, they were still able to get the job done and move the ball. So, yeah.
Definitely.
I like everything you said. I might have repeated almost everything you said. So
hey, no, that's A-okay. No, I like what you say about Josh Reynolds. I mean, before the Julio trade, he was penciled in to be your number 2 receiver coming into this year, and you want him to play special teams? I'm with you. Yeah. That comment really puzzled me. Obviously didn't do it in LA. So definitely a head scratcher there. Would like to see a big game catching the ball from Josh Reynolds and not on punt coverage.
Yeah, God. Oh, God, help us. All right, let's move on to the Titans running attack versus this pretty stout run defense from the New York Jets. Of course, starting with the Titans, Derrick Henry is going to be Derrick Henry. The only issue is are we going to have to lean on him? Hopefully Tannehill can get enough done in the pass game to where we don't have to give the ball to Derrick Henry 30 times against a winless Jets team. Hopefully McNichols can come in and take a lot of the load off of him. So, I know Derrick Henry in one of his press conferences this week kind of laughed off the idea of workload. And he's like, I don't get, why do people keep talking about workload? I'm just playing. I just play the game and I run the plays that are called and I give it my all. I'm not concerned about load management and all that. So hopefully the offense can keep it going. Taylor Lewan practiced all week healthy. I think our offensive line is totally healthy now. Roger Saffold's been dealing with a shoulder, but Ben Jones, Nate Davis, and like what I'm seeing out of Quessenberry so far at right tackle. As far as the Jets goes, they do kind of grade out as middle of the pack in yards per game this year at 110. But the front seven includes Quinnen Williams, who, if I remember, he was like a number 3 or number 4 overall pick for the Jets. I kind of forgot about him. I looked him up and I was like, oh yeah, that guy. I'm pretty sure he led their team in sacks last year, and I think he's leading them this year as well through 3 games. And also CJ Mosley. I know he had a season-ending injury last year, but a very productive linebacker for Baltimore for a long time. He's coming back and leading their team in tackles this year. So this front seven isn't a pushover. I think they also signed Sheldon Rankins off the New Orleans Saints, who was a good player for them. So these are some big guys, some big fatties that we're going to have to push off the line of scrimmage and get some help for Derrick Henry to start rumbling down the field. So, will they be able to shut down Derrick Henry? It's possible. I mean, of course, Indianapolis did a decent job holding him to 4 yards a carry. But let's not underestimate what the Jets can do on defense throughout this and what they've done throughout this season so far. They've had some good performances. I think against Carolina, they allowed 19 points total to them and held McCaffrey under 100 yards rushing. So the offensive line's got to come ready to play. It's good that we're getting healthier on the offensive line. So I think you can't go against Henry and when you're grading out these matchups. But yeah, like you said, like you had in your notes here, no slouch on this Jets front seven. So we'll see what happens there. But hopefully Henry can give us some balance and set the tone for the offense.
For sure. I would love to see Derrick Henry start fast in this game. And maybe in the second half, hopefully the Titans don't give us another heart attack game and they can pull away a little bit and Henry can sit back on the bench a little bit because he is leading the league in carries by a wide margin, Justin. Yes, he leads the league in rushing yards, but he also leads in carries by quite a bit. And you got to love his presser comments that he's not worried about workload. He's just out there playing football. And that's the kind of guy you want your team to kind of look to, honestly. But yes, I am kind of on team. We should scale Derrick Henry back a little bit because, it is September, early October, and he's already on pace to have more carries than he did last year. So we'll see about that. But yes, until proven otherwise, Derrick Henry is the king, and we have to give him the advantage every single week because it's just the Titans' identity, Justin.
It is. And I did see this stat, and I almost forgot about it, so I'm going to bring it back up. In terms of tackles for loss as a team, the Jets have 19 after 3 games. Wow. Yeah, I didn't expect to see that. So this Jets team can get after it. This defense can get behind the line of scrimmage and make plays. So can't underestimate him once again, Jake. So, so yeah, we can flip sides of the ball now. Let's move on to the Titans passing defense versus what are we going to see from this Jets passing offense and their rookie QB struggling coming out of the gate?
Yes, indeed. So the Titans pass defense coming into this one, obviously we've been highlighting him all this season so far, honestly. But Christian Fulton is our new hero, taking some pressure off of Jackrabbit Jenkins, which is, I think, paying dividends. This pass defense has taken leaps and bounds from the Jonathan Josephs of last year, the ghost of Jonathan Joseph. And, look at Dane Cruikshank coming in and filling a role with Amani Hooker on IR. We didn't really expect him to come in and make the splash that he has. So definite shout out to Dane Cruikshank in that secondary. This group is allowing 259 yards a game, good for 18th, which is middle of the pack. And, as I alluded to, middle of the pack is kind of leaps and bounds from what we saw last year from this pass defense. We'll definitely take that. But definitely this defense needs to force more turnovers, be opportunistic. You're playing a quarterback who's 3 games into his career, and he's already considered Mr. INT. Looking at this Jets passing offense, obviously Zach Wilson headlining it, the headbanded quarterback. I mean, who wears headbands, Justin? I think it's kind of tacky. Yeah, it's
I
super
would never
dumb, obviously.
go on camera then wear a headband. That's ridiculous.
Oh, man. But yeah, Mr. INT 3 games into his career, probably not the nickname he wanted to have coming into his first season. Looking at his weapons, obviously, Corey Davis revenge game. Will it happen? He's been in the pressers this week saying, the Titans did not want him back, and he's probably going to want to prove that the Titans should have wanted him back, Justin. So definitely something to watch out for there. Another thing to look at, Elijah Moore, their second-round pick out of the 2021 draft, is possibly going to be held out of this game with a concussion. He has not practiced this week, so remains to be seen there if he's suiting up. And Jamison Crowder is also on the injury report with limited participation this week in practice. So looking at that as well. So past those guys, they have Keelan Cole, former Jaguar. Titans are very familiar with him in the passing game. So we'll see if this Jets offense can maybe move the ball a little bit against this middling Titans pass defense, but look for Kevin Byard to make some plays, outsmart Zach Wilson, the rookie, and hopefully we can just get more plays aplenty from this secondary. I would maybe give the advantage of the Titans pass defense just by default, and we don't give out the advantage to this secondary for the Titans quite often, so we'll take it for just this once. We'll see if they can show up on Sunday, though.
Yeah, and I mean, you like what you see out of Christian Fulton. How can you not? You're almost going into this matchup and liking his chances against Corey Davis. As a receiver who's not the fastest, doesn't get a whole lot of separation. He's good at what he does, and he does it well. He can catch balls in traffic. He's tough. He's a physical receiver. But Christian Fulton is kind of getting into that lockdown mold of a cornerback. And he's not going to let Corey Davis get separation. So you kind of like that matchup. And what I can see playing out is they'll possibly hold out Elijah Moore and Jamison Crowder, who I think has yet to play this season. They'll probably bring back Crowder, who's been practicing, and hold out Moore for another week. Just a total speculation guess there. So that they might be missing Moore. But Jackrabbit Jenkins, like you said, and this secondary as a whole, this is a good opportunity to try to pick up some turnovers against a turnover-prone quarterback. That's one thing we really would like to see more from this defense. One turnover over the course of 3 games is really not going to get it done enough, if that's going to be the trend through the rest of the season. So hopefully they can kind of get on track with that. Surely that's been a point of emphasis for Mike Vrabel this week in practice. So pick off the ball, strip sack, confuse this rookie quarterback, and hopefully we can, take some pressure off this offense. If should we do run into some struggles against this New York Jets defense. But yeah, I like it. I think the Titans should get the advantage. I like how the pass defense has been playing. One of the best outings they've had in a while against the Colts, I thought. So, and as far as the rush defense goes against the Jets run offense, we're looking to get Jayon Brown back and get him to be have more of a bigger role in the defense after his injury. But if not, of course, we love what we're seeing out of David Long Jr. He's probably setting himself up for a nice contract if he keeps playing the way he does by the end of this season. Don't know what we're going to see from Bud Dupree. Is he going to be held out again? Is this still him recovering from the ACL, or is this something else? I'm kind of forgetting.
I would assume that it's the ACL. I mean, he's been on the Julio training regimen, I guess, where it's just like over precautionary, not taking any chances with Bud Dupree. So I would assume it has to do with his ACL recovery, ice pack on his knee last week, but remains to be seen. But assume the Titans will be overly cautious. Insert the "Are we treating this like a bye week?" Joke again. So look, definitely Titan stars will be held out of this one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, despite that, we've got other stars on the defensive line. You love Simmons and Autry and Harold Landry having a great year. Yes. I think this is his contract year, and I've been seeing some jokes. Let's go ahead and lock up Landry long term before this Jets game, because I guess we're expecting him to just break out, get a bunch of sacks, and then only raise his price value at the end of the season. But you like how this run defense is playing. I know we kind of got gashed a little bit from the few times that Jonathan Taylor carried the ball, last week, and they only carried it a few times for God knows why, because he was running nicely, but we're still grading out as 12th in rushing defense and yards allowed per game. So you like that. And when they're going up against a Jets run by committee offense with two young backs with Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, and Tevin Coleman, who's been injured. I think he might maybe on track to make a return here. But none of these backs have 100 yards on the season, Jake. And I don't think any of them are even at 4 yards a carry. I mean, they may have the ability, but I think the main issue here is this Jets offensive line. It's just getting beat time and time again. So as a team, they rank 29th in rush offense per game this year. So this is a good chance where the Titans can get a leg up, shut down any kind of run, and kind of force Zach Wilson to throw the ball, which hasn't been working out well for him this year. So I think this game can for sure be safe and won on the defensive side of the ball. You know, like I say again, if the offense does find its struggles. So I think the Titans will get the advantage here in the rush defense. Just kind of a pedestrian performance so far in the run game for them as well, because their offense as a whole has been pedestrian. Six points in the last 2 games, I believe. They were shut out last week in Denver. 2 total touchdowns on the season, Jake. This offense is really struggling to find its rhythm, and hopefully it continues to struggle at least for another 2 weeks. Not tomorrow, or not Sunday, guys.
For sure. And yeah, I also like the Titans front seven's chances to slow down this running attack. Obviously, big Jeff Simmons making an impact, and Harold Landry's only increasing his price in this contract year.
Don't forget
what
Ola.
you see. And Ola Daney. Yeah, have to shout out Ola Daney, who's becoming a fan favorite for this Titans team, leading the team in sacks thus far. So look for him to make another impact performance in this game. And, you know, I have to tip the old headband to Shane Bowen. After last week, Frank Reich came out and said, we wanted to run the ball more, but the Titans defense was giving us looks that we hadn't seen on tape before. It would kind of threw off their entire game plan. And, you know, Shane Bowen maybe outcoached somebody for one time. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
So hats off to him. Hand up. I was the Fire Bowen train. I still am not crazy about him, but he did get a win last week for us as far as the defense goes. So look for him to maybe try and confuse Zach Wilson this week, and maybe he can get 2 wins in a row.
I would love that. Thank you very much, Shane Bowen. Yeah, the Seattle game, blown coverages, not great. Not great. That makes you want to fire a defensive coordinator real quick. Yeah. And last thing, special teams, still got Randy. Randy has made it like 3 games now with this team, or maybe it was 2 games. Oh, it's a new record. The longest tenured kicker we've had since Suckup. Or no, I guess Gostowski. Can't forget Gostowski came back around. If Ficken comes off IR, what are we going to do with Randy Bullock? He's the only thing Randy needs to do is knock in some longer field goals. He's been given nothing but chip shots and extra points so far. The time will eventually come where we need a kicker to kick a 45-yard field goal. Yeah. So can Randy do that? That still remains to be seen. But I like what he's doing. If you can knock in short field goals and extra points, stay on the team by all means.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Struggling to do that. But Brett Kern, Jake, he apparently suffered an injury in practice. We just signed Johnny Townsend, I think his name, a practice squad punter forgot the team. So it looks like we're going to be missing Brett Kern, dude. Is he just getting old? He's getting old and brittle.
He's no spring chicken, Justin. He's getting up there. We're going to have to start preparing for life without Brett Kern. I'm starting to get that feeling, and that's not a good feeling.
I can't. I don't want to live life that way. Hopefully Kern is going to be okay. Don't rush him back too fast. Titans kind of, I guess, what happened with Suckup, and we end up cutting him, and now he's like an all-pro kicker again with the Bucs and winning Super Bowls. So let's make sure Kern is okay. Hopefully Johnny Townsend isn't a Trevor Daniel who was possibly delivered the worst punting performance in NFL history last year for us. And as far as the Jets goes, they've got kicker Matt Amendola. Any relation to Danny Amendola? No idea. And punter Thomas Morstead, who used to play for the Saints, now with the Jets. So I guess this is a push category. Kern is hurt, so, and I don't know how good these Jets guys are, but I don't expect special teams to be too big of a factor. Although I do like what Chester Rogers has been doing for us in the punt return game. It's been a spark that the Titans haven't had in several seasons. So Jake, if you want to wrap this thing up, what is your score predictions? What are your keys to this game and how it's going to play out for a Titans win?
I have a very Raiders-esque key to the game, and it's just freaking win, baby. And it's just go to East Rutherford, take care of business. And, Titans fans don't have a big cow if this game is close. I mean, a hungry dog runs faster, and the Jets are going to be scratching and clawing, doing everything they can to get this win this week. And look, you don't have A.J. Brown. You don't have Julio Jones. You more than likely won't have Bud Dupree. So a lot of star power missing from this Titans team. It's going to take a great coaching job by Vrabel and Todd Downing and Shane Bowen to really kind of put this Jets team in their place and send them to 0-4. So again, don't be surprised if this is a close game, but all that matters at the end of the day is the Titans notch a win and just play their brand of football. Let's get a lead. Let's keep that lead, and let's hopefully pull away by a couple of scores in this game so we don't have to bite our fingernails in the fourth quarter like we do so often with this Titans team. So I'm going to make the score prediction of Titans 31, Jets 17. And it will be slightly close in the first half, and then hopefully Derrick Henry can rip off a long one and kind of blow it open. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't. Another big key, obvious key, kind of right in your face, but don't freaking turn the ball over anymore. I'm sick of this Titans team being so careful with the ball throughout Ryan Tannehill's era as quarterback, and then all of a sudden turnovers have become an issue. So as long as the Titans don't lose the turnover battle 0-3 like they did last week, I think they can put this one away.
Jake, I appreciate your key and score prediction, but you pretty much also said my key and score prediction. I was literally going to say 31-16, so let me change it up here. I'm going to guess Randy Bullock misses a 50-yard field goal, and it's going to be 28-16. Ooh, wow, way different. All right. Yep. And I don't know, can the Jets even put up 16 points? Are we giving their offense too much credit? I don't know. You got to bounce back, show up eventually. So maybe they throw up 16 like the Colts did on us. And yeah, my key was Titans don't beat yourselves. Also with the turnovers, be careful with the penalties. We've been pretty good about the penalties this year called against us. So if we play a clean game, it is hard to see the Jets matching up and beating us at home, even given our injuries at the wide receiver position. Because even so, I think the offense and Henry can do enough to put up enough points. And like, the flip side, their offensive ineptitude, you like what you see out of this Titans defense so far and its ability to, shut down this rookie quarterback and, their injuries at receiver. And I think their starting tight end, we didn't even mention Tyler Kroft is dealing with a rib injury, I think, and he's questionable coming into this game as well. So limited weapons for that Jets offense, a struggling offensive line. As long as the Titans just don't beat themselves, play smart football, take care of the ball, they should be able to win this game by double digits. So hopefully they can get it done, Jake.
Yep. And yeah, it just comes down to not beating yourself. I like the way you phrase that. So yes, let's go to New York, Justin. Let's go beat the Jets. Let's move to 3-1 on the year. And we know this Titans team can do it. This is not a letdown spot. This isn't your father's Titans who would lose this game in the Malarkey era and the Munchak era and eras
that's
before.
My Titans. I am that father. I'm not a father, but I'm that fan that watched all those Titans teams.
Man. But yes, don't beat yourself. Let's go make the plays that need to be made. And let's go get this dub, Justin. And I don't want to wear a goatee on camera. I don't want to combine the headband with a goatee on camera. That's going to be maybe a double bad look. The comments are going to be even worse for me. So let's go to East Rutherford
just to save everybody from having to watch.
I'll be like Wilson from Home Improvement and just have a little fence up. Oh man. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks for watching this preview. Everybody have a great football weekend, and let's go get a Titans dub. Tighten up, everybody.
Love it. Tighten up, y'all. See ya.